Hello everyone, I am Chris Falco with Falconian Productions, and I am storytelling for...
Andrew, I play Mason, an upstanding member of the Pentex first teams and Dawncast Solar.
Peter as Dolores Star, the Heart Eater.
And Nick playing as Henry Temple, the Infernal Exalted.
Wonderful. So, last time we played, you all started, well, basically trying to simultaneously climb the corporate ladder and figure out what the hell the corporate ladder is there for. You also fought some rust spiders and used mind spiders for the aforementioned stuff. I mean, if you're watching this episode, you saw that one, so that should be a good reminder of everything that happened, right? Anyone else want anything to add into that?
Spiders are friends now.
Yes.
Well, we met with a lovely person. It was just a nest of spiders.
Oh yeah.
That
That's
happened.
true.
We got some inklings of cosmologically what might be going on, just a little bit.
Right,
A
I have a
little bit.
book and read it and understood like a tenth of it.
Right, you got, like, baby's first Garrow cosmology.
Wizard cosmology, probably. I don't think, unless I stole it, but
I think it was more you learned the very basics of, Weaver worm and that kind of stuff, which is more werewolf.
okay, yeah. So, like, baby's first guide to the Yang world.
Right. Whatever the case, it's baby's first guide, so it doesn't really differ that much anyway between them. So, when we left off last time, we had an intention from Mason to summon some stuff and some solar elementals specifically to figure out if the sun knows anything about who you all are, if you have stolen power, or if you are the sun's champions, or whatever else you might have to do with Helios.
Right,
So,
maybe nothing.
Right. So, we can probably start off with that. Henry, of course, could have called in some of your unlimited paid time off for the next day or two. So that you
Easy.
can, show up at Mason's mentor's dojo early in the morning and have all day to do this.
Yes. I mean, I'm not doing any spirit summoning at all. I'm just sort of extraneous to the process.
Well, you're all there to talk with whatever gets summoned.
Right.
Yeah, we're there just to be, on top of things and, not have to be, hear the explanations of what went down.
Right. You don't have to play telephone with what's going
Yeah.
on.
Right. Hopefully he's got a spell that translates for us, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he has enough spirit sphere to summon, he has enough spirit sphere to let you understand spirits.
Yeah.
The rope probably covers both. I'm not going to worry about that too much. He can do it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'm not going to roll for him. But maybe I will see if he'll botch and put you all in the paradox realm. That would be a fun departure.
That's a surprise. I don't think we count as vulgar witnesses, so I think that's unlikely.
Yeah. It's very unlikely.
We're not mere
but
mortals. Yeah.
you never know with a botch, because if it's an extended roll, if I recall the paradox mechanics, an extended roll only fucks up your paradox if you botch, and then it adds like one extra per roll, and it can get pretty wicked even with a coincidental spell. But that's not what you're actually going to deal with. So, you gather up at, what did you call the dojo? I think I wrote it down somewhere.
If not, I did one moment.
Yeah. Thought I did, but I don't see it there in that area.
I think it's like the Helong, which is I stole from the Akashic guidebook somewhere.
Gotcha. Helong. Dojo. There, now it's definitely in my notes. So you gather there, and from there you end up taking a drive basically out into the desert, because no one wants to try summoning an elemental spirit in the midst of the city. It either becomes very difficult because the gauntlet's high, or you manage it and you now have, a flaming spirit in the middle of the city.
Yeah. I take notes like never summon fire elementals indoors. Double underline.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if I recall, you left off basically with books from your mentor, and he was like, yeah, figure out something in there you want to summon. And basically
Right.
you end up with finding out that there are fire elementals that are kind of solar elementals, but solar elementals are just fire elementals and light elementals. You're going with fire because the light elementals seem harder to understand. Fire elementals are eager to talk and eager to burn, but you're hoping you can go with the talking and save the burning for later.
Okay, guys, we're going to the national park to summon the fire elemental because that's where it will be contained.
I mean, yeah, nothing's going to catch on fire in the desert. Maybe a cactus if one's nearby, but that's not the end of the world.
Right. I mean, we probably build it a bonfire. Like, I'm sure he has specific instructions. Like, first you take a lot of wood and you pile it up, and
yeah,
we summon the fire spirit into a fire.
Yeah, essentially, yes. You end up kind of building a little fire pit, and he gathers you all around basically to meditate. He has you all start on that as he draws some sigils into the sand around the fire pit, and then actually draws a few onto you yourselves along your foreheads. He tells you that part specifically so you will be able to understand the spirit if it's one that doesn't speak English, and a lot of them don't.
So for the viewers, Husky, you think about the mentor, right?
Yeah, he is Mason's mentor, Kevin, who works at the dojo, the aforementioned dojo, the Heilong Athletic Society.
Didn't know he was a wizard when I took that job.
Yes, but you learn that pretty quickly afterward in our previous sessions. Because, once your avatar is like literal solar fire, he kind of figured he didn't need to hide it as much anymore.
Right.
But yeah, so he has you all gathered together, sitting there, draws those, and then he sits down with you, kind of does the join hands things, and takes a deep breath. And as he speaks out afterward, it's basically a few simple words calling the name of the fire elemental you chose. And the name really doesn't... You aren't actually sure that he's speaking, a language at that point. It's just some kind of like crackling sounds that at first you think came from the fire itself. So at first it seems like nothing happens, for a few minutes or so, but he doesn't do anything except sit there and, continue his breathing exercises. But eventually that fire starts to crackle much louder and pop, and suddenly it's growing bigger and bigger and whirling around itself until it creates the shape of a semi-humanoid figure who just sort of appears within the flames with a final eruption of sparks into the surrounding area. And sure enough, a few of them catch on you, and you probably kind of have to pat out a fire from catching on your clothing. Thankfully, nothing else around you is flammable, so that's all that happens. The entity doesn't look like it's purposely trying to cause you any trouble. It just kind of happened. And it first turns to Kevin, and it sounds like crackling fire still, but it puts together in your head like you are understanding a normal language. You interpret it as saying, basically, why do you call me? And Kevin then explains that it's actually Mason who has questions. And pretty much, motions over to you and lets you take the floor.
I guess I stand up, assuming that I'm allowed to as part of the ritual, and
Yes, it's already summoned.
yeah, and I guess my anima lights up and says, and my forehead gleams around, probably through the symbols that he wrote, right? Because he can't be hidden.
Yes.
And I ask it. I have questions about me.
The spirit sort of like, it doesn't step back so much, it just kind of slides in a way where its balance shifts like it was stepping, but it doesn't have proper feet. It's like a humanoid form that comes together closer to the top of it than the bottom. And, after that initial bit of surprise, it leans forward and says, There's something familiar about this. Who are you?
My name is Mason, and I guess like 2 weeks ago, this happened to me, and ever since, things have been different.
What is this? It kind of reaches out at you. And do you let it touch you?
Sure, I'll reach out a hand, I guess, and you can shake hands in a fiery way. I may need to pump some essence into Iron Skin
Or it's like to
concentration.
reach to your forehead or something.
No, it doesn't
Oh, God.
actually burn you. It feels warm, and you feel, that kind of heat when you touch something too hot right before it starts to hurt?
Right.
It stops right at that uncomfortable point, but not pain, when it touches you. And it says, you carry Helios's touch. How did you come across this power? How did you change?
Uh,
I hoping you would tell us.
a Nexus crawl. I assume they're listed in the book, so I say a Nexus crawler
Mhm.
attacked us, and all of a sudden, I had this, and I was killing it.
I see. You drew upon Helios's power to kill one of the most potent creations of the worm. I've never heard of such an aura before.
Yes, and I've killed other creations of the worm or corruptions of the worm ever since. It's easy.
It kind of stares at you for a moment, not like in disbelief. It seems like its mind is in another place entirely for a second or two.
Hey, would you like me to show off how much power I have? Would you like to duel the Goku route?
I mean, do you say that? Do you offer to duel the spirit?
I mean, if you
I
want,
don't.
well, are you offering Delarius?
Yeah, I was gonna-
Oh boy.
No, but after after it kind of comes back to attention, it looks over to Dolores and Henry and says, "There's something different about your spirits too. Are you? No, you're not. You're not the same. But what are you two?"
I have a quick check. Like, how did this have something with spirits? Let me try finding it.
I think you have some equivalent of an anima flare, right?
Yeah, but
Makes you look like a Aurora Borealis, basically, as I recall.
Yeah, I always forget to open the Black Vault folder.
like I feel the revulsion of spirits or whatever. It's not necessarily that they feel revolted by me, but I definitely feel not welcomed by them.
Yeah, you probably feel kind of like scrutinized in a bad way more than it just being a question, but
Wait. Spirits of all descriptions I'll just dislike her on sight. Oh boy.
oh really? So, as the spirit, studies Dolores, it starts to look less and less friendly. It starts to look at her like It starts to look at her like something's wrong, like you're someone who just spat on its face. Like you aren't of the sun's power. You feel like an abomination. How dare... It turns to Mason at this point and says, how dare you disrespect me by bringing a creature like that here?
Oh, nice to meet you too.
What?
This is. I mean, she's had this happen to her the same way this happened to me. 2 weeks ago, she just worked in the supply room counting pencils.
It doesn't look entirely convinced, though. If one of you wants to roll like a persuasion equivalent to, calm it down. I mean, it doesn't care about its pronouns.
Sure.
Go ahead.
What is the appropriate skill?
What do you think is an appropriate skill to how you want to do this?
Maybe empathy? I'll call upon its empathy.
Yeah,
Like
go
this-
for it.
Sure.
Wow, 5 successes.
That was sheer luck. I don't have an excellency for that or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically said that she had no idea what was happening, more or less.
Yeah.
Same
Just like
oddity
me,
happened to her too. Sorry for everyone watching as I keep clicking other windows on top of this one. It's an ADD thing. Anywho, yeah, she looks over at Henry and kind of crackles a bit, like and lets out a sound that is also a crackle, but you interpret it kind of like an annoyed growl, but one that's like giving up on it. Like, fine, but don't expect hospitality anywhere you bring her. And then it turns back to Henry and says, what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll let my anima flare, I guess. Kind of just let it go.
All right. And you've got the green sun kind of deal, or does yours look different? I can never
Yeah. No. It is primarily the outline of the radioactive green flames. The interior of the light is a little bit different. Kind of a Vanta black, but with what looks like kind of like lights in it, maybe if seen from far away, or maybe like security camera lights, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Let me check something very quick.
And also, you have your eyes in the anima because you have the crown of eyes, something like that.
Exactly. Security cameras.
I'm going to roll its gnosis for reasons.
Uh-oh.
Evil smite.
No, I guess smite evil. Oh, no.
No, you want it to succeed here.
Oh, okay.
And it did. So, it studies Henry for a bit, and it says, your power feels like the worms, but no, there's something else beneath it. I still feel a bit of Helios's light within you, too. It's just buried. What have you done to it?
Okay. All right. So I'm not. Am I a different? Okay. I
He
have
also
no idea what that
experimented on by
means.
Pentex.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't do anything.
I was gonna say, like, I just was in the same situation as the others, except, well, okay, no, I was in the lab being experimented on. It seemed to create the monster.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess there's that's different.
Yeah, you
Did
were the
they?
obvious.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what if I was supposed to be like Mason, but they fucked me up? Oh shit.
Well, maybe we can unfuck it.
Maybe.
You say Pentex was able to corrupt Helios's essence?
Do you have a better idea?
No.
Well, clearly somebody did.
I'm just gonna shrug.
That is...
You're the one who's read all the documents, but I don't know. This seems a little above their pay grade.
That's the thing,
Helios's light is pure. I've never actually heard of part of Helios's essence. There are, of course, worm elementals, but they don't usually come from an entity that Helios spawned. But they're clearly dealing with some incredible source of power if they could manage that. But you say you don't... You don't, follow their goals, then?
No, definitely not. They seem to be, I mean, just what happened to me alone. They seem to be doing not great things. I have a lot of evidence actually back home. Do you know what evidence is? Do you know like computers and like document? No, okay.
The Awaken's magic is able to translate the idea to me as best as I can understand it.
Man, your friend's like super cool. I say to Mason.
Yeah.
Kevin can hear you. He's still there.
yeah, I know.
He just smiles, though. He's not going to interrupt your talk. She thinks for a few more moments and says, I think Helios is going to want to see you. To see both of you. I suppose, and kind of like gives a dirty look to Dolores, suppose he'll want to see all of you and see if he could make sense of that, and kind of like motions like with disgust at Dolores, like, you know, someone made a mess on the wall kind of thing.
Hey, what if we don't want to see Helios?
I mean, when the sun asked for your presence, I guess you show up.
Like, we're going to the sun now? Are we going to
I mean-
space?
Not if he's gonna be really upset with our good friend Dolores here.
If you make your way to... if you can make your way to Helios, he is not one to strike you down when within his invited presence. If he wanted to be rid of you, he probably would have already found a way.
I'm sorry, what?
How do we get to
Why
Helios?
we've been here? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a little uncertain about this whole, like, is like the actual sun Helios, or is it like a spiritual representation thereof, or
Helios is the sun. Helios is a spirit. The sun is Helios, is a spirit, a Celestine. The Celestines are great entities. They are both themselves and the physical representation you would know of. They're not like other spirits. They are far grander.
Okay.
And they're your bosses.
does that mean we have to go into space? I don't think I
Yeah,
have a spaceship.
This
In
sounds
a-
like a mention.
In a manner of speaking, but there are ways outside of your mundane directional capacity. If you have time, I might be able to lead you to him now.
I look over at Henry. It's like, how do you feel about meeting Ra?
Hey man, let's go meet some like Jungian archetype interdimensional aliens. Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
I have time.
Good thing I brought my sunscreen. So I'm
Oh,
just piling
that's
it on.
yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right, so it kind of goes T-pose, except hands up in that more divine sort of method, and then
Praise the sun.
alights with a great burst of sunlight and fire, and then it's like part of reality itself burns away above the campfire and creates a gateway into the penumbra,
Okay.
which on the other side of it in the desert, well, it honestly looks mostly still like desert, but it's darker.
It's definitely the stuff that I see when I turn on my all-encompassing sorcerer's sight
Yes, it is definitely that.
I say, well, I let them know that yes, that's what I see when I turn on my vision. So I'll step through. I guess I'll lead the way.
Is Kevin coming?
Kevin basically asks if you want him to come. He looks a little uncertain.
Don't leave us.
Please come along, Kevin. I invite you. However,
for our ride
if he says
home,
no,
maybe.
yeah,
No, if you when you blatantly ask him, he nods and goes to step through with you.
because he has at the very least probably done this before, or at least talked to someone who has.
The,
Why,
Aka-
yes,
Hopefully.
I have had a drug trip.
the Akashics, from my understanding, are much more likely to project into the astral umbra than step physically into the penumbra.
Yeah,
And-
that's true.
Yeah.
But Mason doesn't know that.
Yeah, but he still knows more about what's going on there than you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he comes through with you, and as you step through, the gateway unburns back into the shape of the spirit, except now on the other side. And yeah, it points up in the sky where the sun is burning, and the sun looks a lot more distant and out of the way here. Like late at night when you can actually kind of look directly, not late at night, late in the evening before it's actually crested, it kind of looks far out, but you can kind of look at it, that kind of thing. That's what it looks like, even though it's like early in the morning.
Okay. So is there a road to the sun, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. We can't fly.
The spirit at first starts to literally do that, just start heading up, and then stops a moment and looks back and realizes, oh right, fleshy things can't actually fly. And then thinks for a moment and says, well, and it looks around from that upward vantage point, and then points off in the distance. And if you all look that way, it wasn't noticeable at first, but a decent walk down the desert, there's what looks like a bridge of moonlight that just starts to go upward. We can get into the ethereal from there.
Okay.
What now?
Apparently, you can walk up moonbeams.
Kevin looks not convinced. He kind of clears his throat and says, from what I understand, 95 out of 100 times, those moon bridges are guarded by the shapeshifters. They're not ones in general to just let someone pass through for the sake of passing through.
I don't suppose you have a magic spell that gives us wings.
He thinks for a moment and says, well, actually, if you give me a few minutes, maybe I can maybe I can put something together.
All right, take all the time you need.
All
I'll do
right.
Yeah.
50 push-ups and grow some wings.
Yeah.
Not quite, but kind of. No, what he actually does is he beckons the solar elemental down and draws some symbols around it, basically representing it. Some of them actually look like the ones you saw when he was preparing to summon it, and then he creates another area and basically tells you all to stand there and clear your minds and to envision the spirit and envision yourselves as the spirit. And
Okay.
then he comes over and he presses his hand to each of Mason and Henry's chests. No reason for choosing you two for that with his two hands. And, well, he tries to cast a spell. I'm actually going to roll this one, because we're in the Umbra and interesting things could happen. Whee!
Please don't explode, Kevin.
Alright, and...
Please.
Okay, he definitely does not explode. So, he chants something... It basically sounds like a very old language. And above him, you see, kind of like a humanoid projection of like some sort of spiritual entity, and then it alights in flame in a way that looks like the fire spirits, and then it kind of explodes, and it explodes in a way that, might startle you because it looks like a normal explosion, but when it washes over you, instead of burning you terribly, you suddenly have fiery wings on your backs.
Eh. Do we keep these, or?
He shakes his head and says, they're only going to work here and only for about, let's see, there's 3 of you, 1, 2, only for maybe a day's worth of time.
Then we better get moving. How long will it take us to fly to the sun?
Okay, so the 3 of us
Not-
have the wings, 4 of us, 2 of us. Who gets the wings?
You all have wings.
Okay. Did Kevin give himself wings? That's a
Yes, he gave himself
Okay,
wings
good.
because he knows.
We all have wings.
Yes. But yeah, the fire spirit actually answers when you ask how long it takes. Like, Helios is not as far as you think. He is simultaneously deep in the deep umbra and yet just above us.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And then it starts to fly upward again and kind of expects you to follow.
I will see if I can get these wings to work. I flap them, think real
Yeah,
hard.
it's basically like a new appendage. It takes you a moment to realize how your brain connects to it, but with a bit of, it doesn't take too long. As soon as you tell them the flap, they're magic, they just kind of start carrying you upward where you want to go.
Sick. I'm gonna enjoy this. If there are any clouds or anything like that, I'm gonna like dip in and out of them a little bit. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
hell
Absolutely.
yeah.
Sir,
much
please
attention
stop
here.
going to me.
I mean, yeah, one of the clouds, if you do start dipping through too many clouds, one of them probably does kind of give you a dirty look. But eventually, as you
Shit.
start moving up through the clouds, you feel like you kind of entered a new place. Like, your brain resets in that way that you forget what you were doing when you head into the kitchen because you're in a new location.
Dream logic.
Yep. Well, not quite.
I like that.
More like spirit realm logic. And you
Dream
find
logic.
yourselves above the clouds, which suddenly are solid beneath your feet, even though you just flew up into them. And at first it looks just like an endless expanse of clouds, but then if you look closer, you see that the wind blowing between them is like semi-solid and works together in a not necessarily humanoid form, but in forms where the air swirls around, and you can notice there's something there, and then there are these bird spirits that fly low among the clouds and others that fly higher up, and then lightning that strikes and then stays there because it's still a spirit.
Guys, we broke into heaven.
Kinda. Yeah.
This is new. Is it always? I asked Kevin if it's always like this.
Let's see, how much does Kevin actually know about the Middle Umbra? How many mentor dots do you have?
I think it's like 2. He's not an amazing wizard.
Yeah, that's why I
Poor
limited.
guy.
Well, I have him as a disciple. He's got to have some cosmology if he has spirit, so... No, that's too many dice. Put those down. Actually, let me roll from the template. That'll be easier. 5 sounds right. Okay, 2 success. So yeah, he says, from what I have read, this is the ethereal realm, so yes, this is both a distinct realm within the Umbra and also the sky everywhere in the Umbra. You get there as we just did by going up.
Yes, it beats
Yes.
walking and then persuading shapeshifters to let us pass.
Yeah, that's usually
Yeah,
where the sky
sure.
is.
Yes. The fire spirit then points up again, and the sun again looks distant, but clearer now, not behind clouds, because, well, you're above the clouds. Kind of up into the night sky, except for that globe of sun. It says, there's Helios. It's as simple as going to him.
Lead the way.
I was gonna say, yes, please let him know of our arrival so that we can
He knows.
formally introduce ourselves.
He knows that you're coming to him. Trust me.
Oh, already. Okay, great.
As you can see him, he can see you.
They
But
call
still,
it the all-seeing eye of Ra for a reason, right?
Man, that's
So,
anxiety
but-
provoking.
either way, the elemental does start flying in that direction.
Yep. I don't want to get stuck here without a guide, so we will also follow.
Okay, so as you start to fly towards Helios, he looked incredibly distant, and it looked like nighttime, but all of a sudden, as soon as you start to fly in that direction, it is, noon in the summer. There's light everywhere. It is, warmly basking down upon you. You wouldn't know you were just looking at, a starry sky seconds earlier. And as you continue to head towards him, it just gets, well, more and more sunny. Within... Well, it's hard to explain. You feel like time is passing by in the span of, minutes, but also if you think back over the journey, suddenly you're remembering hours and hours. Is the best way to put that. But still, as those hours technically pass, that noon sky becomes sun expanding outward and this holy light enveloping and warming you. And Mason, this feels a whole lot like when you exalted that light that just kind of came from everywhere and yet still had a central point you were heading towards.
Okay. So thumbs up for me.
Yeah, Dolores, you hate it. It is the judgmental eye of Ra watching you, expecting you to slip up. Henry, you probably don't know how to feel. It feels like it's judging you, but not as immediately harshly. It's like scrutiny.
It's
Kind of like
the creature of darkness.
That is what I am.
Yeah. So the light starts to get bigger and bigger, but then all of a sudden, what looks like solar flares from all directions erupt and form like a web of fire in front of you. And the fire elemental guiding you just passes through it, but then looks back to you and says, "You do need to prove your strength to be worthy of Helios's time. Just come through. You may turn back at any time, but, well, obviously you cannot talk to Helios if you turn back."
All right, I will trigger Iron Skin concentration, and I assume she means like burn yourselves on the fire. So
It means, yeah, pass through those flames, and, when you get close, they feel like they're going to hurt, not like it was limited, like touching the elemental was.
sure, but I have Iron Skin concentration. I'm a soak monster. I will soak it.
Okay.
I'll spend
So-
2 essence on that. I guess my animal is probably flaring, so
Yep. Okay, so you can go through first. So, why don't you roll me your soak? Let's see, your solar, but you're only essence 1. We'll say 4, or roll soak 4 times, and I will
Alright.
tell you how that goes.
okay. I'm not going to count my armor for this. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't apply anyway.
Your armor does
but-
not apply, you are going through fire.
That puts me at 12 soak. DC, and what's the DC to soak this?
It's normal. Oh wait,
Okay.
no, actually, it's not. It's actually difficulty 9 is base.
Okay.
Oh,
And I believe I lower it to 7.
Wait, is that the difficulty because it's ag damage or just whatever?
It's the
special
difficulty because this is Helios, and he needs to know
That's what I
that you
thought,
can
okay.
take it.
Okay.
I had to reread it at first.
Yep. And how much damage am I soaking, by the way?
I was going to tell you once you are done rolling.
Okay,
Even though you're rolling them all, you can stop going through at any time, as I mentioned.
Yeah. So I double 10s on this,
Actually-
so that would be 6.
Okay. I should bring up my dice again. Wait, did it say 6? Yes.
Is it subtracting ones? I don't think so. Oh, because it's DC 7, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's 2. And then the third one is 10,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one is
All right. I suppose I could have rolled these first, but all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the first, third, and last. So 4, 7, and 2, and it is.
don't think
Okay,
it's any
you
damage.
take 1 aggravated damage on that last one. Basically, as you start to push through the web, it burns, but your exalted power kind of pushes back against it, and it's not until the end that it breaks through it all and just kind of gives you a really good singe across the chest to give you 1 aggravated damage.
All right.
All right. Who's going to go next?
From our perspective, Mason just started glowing. He went into the fire and disappeared.
No, he's on the other side now. You can see him. He's right over there.
Oh,
Like, it's not so
Alright.
bad.
okay. If you say so, Mr. Invulnerable. Great. I get to just live through all the pain and agony. That's awesome.
Yep.
Henry's going to like psych himself up and then just run, just run across. Just
All
get
right,
over there as fast as possible.
I'm gonna
Get
actually
it over
roll.
with.
I'm gonna actually roll the attacks first this time. That'll probably be easier.
Okay.
All right, so 5. Okay, he's not taking it easy on you because you're worm creature. So 1,
Oh, great.
2, 3, 4, 5.
I guess I'll just die then.
Again, yeah, I guess. Yes, I will.
3, 4.
Mm.
Okay, here. Start. So 2, 1, 2, 4. Alrighty, I guess soak 5 times then.
5 times. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like those were all successful.
And the base difficulty is 9?
Yeah. If you do have any, like, perfect dodge type deals, that would technically work, or
Oh, if
vulnerability to solar fire, or things like that.
If only I did.
Yeah. Like I said, the base difficulty is 9.
Quick question for you. I'm sorry, just in terms of like the time scale. Did we get our essence back and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, this is we did it the next morning, so you got either the nighttime or daytime replenishment of essence.
Which is
Right.
2
Plus, you've been in the spirit world for quite a while, so.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, at this point, you'd definitely be full up because.
All right then.
Yeah, you get like an essence per 3 hours or something like that.
Yes, I looked it up.
All
And
right.
yeah, you basically just spent all day coming to see Helios. You know, like I said, it seemed like minutes consciously, but now that you think back, you have memories of doing it for all day.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm soaking 5 times.
Yes, you are soaking 5 times because apparently Helios hates you.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, baby.
Oop, oh, there we go. Okay, so 2 botch, 2 botch. Alrighty, so that means 1, 2, 3.
How much do I take?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can you take 9 ag?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'll be in my last few health levels, but I will still be alive.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, it is not nearly as pleasant for you. You are being cooked alive.
I scream.
So yeah, while Mason pretty much probably like grunted or yelled once at the end, so probably didn't seem too bad to Dolores. You hear Henry just screaming the entire time.
I collapse onto the other side and look back, looking basically like a charred corpse.
Yeah,
and
you
through
pretty
a
much
crispy mouth, opening my crispy mouth, I'll say, "Are we sure Dolores is gonna get through that? Are we sure, guys? Oh God!" I'm gonna start regenerating if that's okay.
See, that's why you should be wearing your sunscreen.
SPF 2000.
Yeah. So Dolores, do you have anything you want to activate or whatnot before you get in or go through?
I mean, the only thing I could have activated is like, flare my anima, twine it with the dawn just to negate ones on my soak dice.
Also doubles 10s.
That's definitely... That definitely sounds like a good start.
Your anima power doesn't double 10s. At least what I'm reading. But it does remove ones.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure it does. I'll check again.
I mean, either way, it's better than nothing.
Yes, either way, it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Actually, if you're doing that to Masons...
Yeah.
Dawn can reroll and keep the perfect. Okay, so yeah, you can reroll one of them in the process too.
Okay. Anima twining.
Okay. Yes, animal twinning.
Anima,
No,
yeah.
Anima. No, I was making fun of myself there. Joy with one individual at a time. If you blah blah blah. Yeah, it looks like you just have to spend a turn and then you've got it.
Yeah.
Alright, and since you are taking Mason's anima, I am going to be nice and you're going to get 1 less attack too. As if you were a solar. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare Thumb War.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, so you only have to soak
successes.
3 times. The attack successes don't matter. It's a static 3 damage per attack, basically.
Let's see.
Difficulty
Can I spend
now.
willpower on this?
You know what? Yes. You know what you're getting into. It's all about the soaking.
Fine,
I'll
I'll spend
allow
3
it so you
willpower
don't
on
die.
that on top. 1, 2, 3. No.
Alrighty, so 2, 4, 6 aggravated damage.
Oh, okay.
I've done 1.
You got through. That's what's important.
Oh, gee. Oh, God, Dolores. Oh, are you okay?
My sunscreen saved me. Oh.
Well, I think we've got the name for this episode. Wear your sunscreen.
It was complex.
Right. So the fire, or the solar fire elemental, like the one that you came with, basically just continues forward and kind of disappears into the sunlight.
Yeah. I guess
All
we
right,
went to the purgatory.
I probably need to pick up Henry.
I'm
And possible-
okay.
Okay.
I'm doing the Wolverine thing. I'm okay.
Can you walk? Yeah.
I can walk.
How about you, Dolores?
I think I'm technically incapacitated. I think that's my last open health box.
So that means
Crawl.
you're basically crawling along.
I guess Henry and I can support Dolores.
Oh, Jesus. This was a bad idea. Mason.
I think
What
that's
what
they-
if the sun guy decides to just nuke us now?
I'm sure he would have by now if he wanted to.
Great. Awesome.
You just
I think the Blake Handbook calls this the gauntlet, as in, the old-timey beat you over the face with your club's gauntlet.
Oh, and speaking of, Kevin doesn't try to go through. He is not an Exalt. He would burn to death. He tells you he will wait for you.
No problem, man.
Thumbs up. Thanks for this getting us this far.
Hmm. Right. So, you head into the sun?
Yes. We came all this way after all.
Alright, so as you head into the sun, you kind of like your directional sense changes, and then, instead of flying into it, you're suddenly kind of standing on it. It's like a warm surface. Yeah, go ahead and regen all you want. It's very comfortable now. This is like, if not for the fact that you've got burns that don't want heat, it's like tropical paradise levels of heat. The humidity doesn't bother you. It's great if you aren't sporting third-degree burns. But then you notice that the area kind of shifts and churns, and suddenly a giant fiery citadel that looks like it's kind of made out of stone and kind of made out of the sunlight and kind of made out of spiritual materials you couldn't possibly put a finger on. It just erupts in front of you and like to left and right, and like not exactly around you, but it's so big in front of you that it feels like it's all around you.
Guess we found his house.
Aren't you glad you came along to see that?
Knock, knock.
That's pretty cool.
Thanks to the magic on you, you understand that the building itself starts to speak and says, "So, you are the ones bearing my essence."
Yes.
I'm going to Henry. Yes, him.
You're all still flaring, right?
Like, yeah. Well,
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I have to
Technically-
for Anima 20 to work, so.
in Exalted versus World of Darkness, your animal lasts 3 minutes per
Right.
essence rating.
But we're using the rules where you can turn it on and off at will. And it.
You're all
let
still
you-
flaring. That's...
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's kind of hard to explain how this looks, but the kind of like part of the essence of the building wisps out at each of you, and you feel it touching your anima, your soul. It is probing at you, it is worming in there, it is getting very familiar with you.
Ew.
Approach to the wrong limits for this or something. That's
Sorry, what?
approach to the wrong limits for this or something. Can let my guard down and look at me.
I mean, it's
I'll
up
just-
to you what you wanna...
I'll just mark a limit here.
Probably a good idea. I mean, unless you wanna tell Hyperion to fuck off. It's up to you.
No, that's fine. I'll take a limit.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, you all get a good feeling. And it's... I mean, you get the spiritual equivalent of a, just a contemplative sound, and it must be like, again, thinking back, like an hour that took a few seconds to you consciously before he actually starts talking again. I am remembering something. There's something about all of you in a way. And then there is a rumbling. It's subtle at first, but then the sun itself is like erupting upward, and that building crumbles down to nothing. And then in its place, a statue erupts. That looks kind of like that. And that statue begins to glow and crack and then breaks open, and a visage of the unconquered sun stands before you. And all of you on some level, but especially Dolores with all your past lives, you feel like an ancestral memory triggering. You don't know what it means, but you know it means something. You know this is important. This visage in front of you.
This probably triggers some flashbacks for me with my flaw. But...
Oh yeah, you have flashbacks. How does that work mechanically?
Let me copy paste that.
Yeah, I forgot to open your sheets. So many things to open.
So many things, so many things.
Alrighty. Ooh, yeah, that is.
Yeah, I shifted that other reality.
Okay, yeah, that is,
Especially with Past Lives 5. Yeah, I'm having a trip here.
Yep. Okay, so before anyone else can really react, Dolores, you flash back, and I don't mean a brief mental image, I mean you flash back to you are an entirely different person. Like, looking down, you are like a decorated First Age era, I guess, diplomat warrior combination, but you are kneeled down in not supplication but guilt, and you feel betrayal, but you're not sure if it's your betrayal or you're feeling it from somewhere else. And the unconquered sun in his original form is screaming down at you at, how you've wasted his gift, how you have betrayed the Incarna, how you have nearly ruined their chances in the war against the Primordials. And there's nothing you can do. The weight of that sunlight is crashing down upon you. It is horrible. It is every bad feeling in the universe keeping you in place and preventing you from so much as thinking a positive thought about yourself. And back in reality, Mason and Henry, you see Dolores in that state, except as Dolores, down on the ground and
Screaming.
yeah.
He's crushed under the weight of his gaze, so to speak.
Right. Not like there's a physical force doing it, but like Dolores is collapsed under the weight of just the presence of him.
I think I'll take another limit for being humiliated.
Go for it. I'm sure that won't come back to harm you later in the future, all this limit that's
I'll
happening.
get that staple guy.
Poor people on your list.
Right. Do you want to put the Unconquered Sun on your list? I will not require. I will not require
Recommend
that
putting
of you.
Ra on your list.
I will not require that of you
God.
at all. He's not actually doing something. You're just kind of fucking with your own mind.
Yeah, I don't think I feel grudge towards him yet. We'll see how this goes.
Okay. So yeah, as Dolores is kind of wrapped up in her own self-induced horror, he doesn't seem bothered by it. He just kind of looks down at you all and says, "My memory is not what it once was, but you've reminded me of this form. I didn't even recall its existence until now, this incarna of what I once was." And he's like simultaneously like just kind of statue size and like a fucking titan in the sky kind of size. It's hard for your mind to process him. But either way, he kneels down, and that's kind of enough, but he also seems to still be way up there. But still, he kneels down enough to, like, talk to you, not in, like, a supplicative way, but, like, in a, I'm talking to a child who needs me at their level kind of way.
Talking to a short person.
Like, yeah, says he aims this more at Mason than anyone else, but still aimed kind of at everyone, and he says, "Something has happened, hasn't it? Yes, now that I've felt you, I can feel there is more of the exaltation, the exalted might I once gave up to." And then he kind of like furrows a brow, like the memory is on the tip of his tongue. I gave up. No, I can't. But this is important nonetheless. You, and he pokes you right in the chest, Mason, and then does the same to Henry, kind of like with his bottom left hand. Like it's an aside almost.
Not just Dolores with his foot.
And
Right.
Dolores, he realizes, is kind of out of commission at the moment.
I assume he's not wielding his perfect artifacts either.
He's wielding, like, he looks like he has those, but he doesn't actually have those. It's just, spirit vision, spirit,
Right.
Appearance kind of thing.
A vision of what was.
Right, exactly. Those aren't actually there, and he would not actually be as powerful as the Unconquered Sun. He'd
Right.
still be a fucking Celestine, but...
Yeah, he's Earth's son and not the sun.
Right. But yeah, he, this is important. You are back for a reason. Something is happening in the world. The wheel of ages it's starting to turn, but it doesn't have to. I think that's why you're here, why all of you are here, why some of you, and he kind of gives like a half dirty look to Dolores. Not that Dolores can really process it apart from the, chiding she's receiving, ages past. But, like, some of you can uphold the power that you received long ago, while others of you can perhaps make up for what's happened to it. And he looks more at Dolores at that, but Henry, you kind of get a little side eye too. Like, Dolores is the one that got like kicked out of the family. Henry, you're the one who's like,
You're the bad child.
yeah, you're in jail, but your parents still visits you, that kind of thing.
They pay your bail. they fill your account in prison with so you can buy candy bars.
Oh my
Right.
god.
You know, he hasn't given up on you. He thinks you can
I
turn
see.
yourself around. Dolores, it's like, yeah, you can try to turn yourself around. I'm not going to stop you, but
You're dead to me.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you are you, Mason, are the chosen of the sun, and you, Henry, you were once my chosen, but you were stolen away from me in ages past by, again, the memory on the tip of his tongue kind of look. There's more time has passed between then and now than I can truly process, even in my form, in my ageless essence. It is as if reality itself has changed. And, he kind of wraps back around to the point he was making. But yes, you are back for a reason. You're all back for a reason. You are where you need to be. You appeared there because you need to be there. You need to stop the wheel from turning, because the next time the wheel turns, it will fall into the void. And there will be nothing left.
How do we stop the wheel from turning? Question mark.
I cannot tell you. Forces even greater than the Celestials are at work here. You need to combat the corruption of the worm itself. How it is seeped into reality, into humanity, to the earth, where this next turn will either be centered or will be stopped. You need to find that pivot and stop it there.
I look over at Henry.
The Wheel of Ages, you say?
The Wheel of Ages, yes.
And it comes closer every day to Doomsday.
Yes, the gears are turning, and once the wheel itself falls, there's no turning back.
Henry nods as if, just confirming something he already knew, and then says, were we alive way back when? Is this a reincarnation thing?
Yes, as you would understand it, yes.
My God, you gotta be kidding me.
And
But I'm not... Okay, hold on, but how?
kind of tilts his head. What do you mean, how?
I mean, what's the process for it? Is it like a mind upload?
The essence, the corrupted essence you in particular carry now, also carries a part of your soul from a past life. And it is the same essence, or you have the same soul that you did then. It has just linked up where it was supposed to be. You have become whole in your unique manner of being whole. Kind of some distaste to his tone there.
Can Henry here be fixed? Is there a way to I sort of make a wavy motion, on indicating his green fire? Is there a way to that?
Yes, but I would not
Right.
begin to know how. He is still in that form because I was never able to turn him back. That is another mystery for you all to solve.
But you're the sun.
Yes, I am.
We'll look into that.
Okay.
Okay. So, follow-up question: if we're going to combat the worm, what is it?
he kind of like tries to he takes a moment because he needs to put this in, terms that little baby squishies can understand. The worm,
The small spirits.
right. The worm is the current embodiment of the forces of entropy. It is a corrupt creature, a spirit that makes, well, to be honest, makes the Celestines like myself look like you by comparison.
Okay.
In its current form, it has been choked and changed and has grown cancerous, I suppose is a good equivalent word for you. It is growing in ways it shouldn't, because entropy should not grow. When entropy grows, it corrupts, because that is not the nature of entropy.
Entropy is just disorder.
Entropy is disorder and dissolution, and eventually the end of all things. Everything must end, or the universe will not work.
How, with great respect to your unlimited wisdom and knowledge, you sure about that? Does it need entropy? Or are we just really used to it?
And he kind of growls at you. In a
I'm
shut up.
Well, oh no, so okay, with the sight I've been granted, I can see places, right? Here we have this, which people tell me is called the Yang world. This is the origin of life, spiritually speaking. And then there's, the Yin world, which is the place where dead things go to die some more, I guess. I don't entirely understand the full concept. But why would there need to be a spiritual, which is to say a Yang representation of entropy, when it's already got a place in the Yin world?
What he said.
That you are thinking in fewer dimensions than you should be, is the only way I can really explain that to you.
Okay. I guess time for some more studying then.
Now, I cannot spend all my time with you three. And at that point, he kind of flicks Dolores and, makes her kind of fall back and over. But it does jar Dolores from the horrible flashback of whatever terrible thing she was being punished for back in ages ago. So, you are...
I didn't do it.
He just kind of grunts at you. And Dolores, you do have that flashback still fresh on your mind, but you also kind of, as like a fuzzy memory, have what just happened, the conversation there, so the other two won't have to repeat it to you.
Okay.
And, he looks back to Mason and says, what had I been saying? He looks back to Mason and says, I can give you one more thing before I have to give my leave to you. Something to get you started in the great task you have to undertake. And he puts forward the hand that has the is an olive branch that the unconquered sun holds in that bottom
Let
left
me
hand.
look it up.
Yeah. Whatever the case, he holds that branch out to you, and then that branch, the visage of that branch, of course, burns. But amusingly, it burns into not a physical, but at least an ephemerally real form, say that 5 times fast, as basically a pile of glowing dust, which he hands to Mason.
I accept.
Yeah, you do. I mean, who the hell's going to say, no, I don't want that to something the fucking sun gives you?
Yeah, it's
Thank
a laurel branch apparently.
Okay, Laurel
Right.
Branch. But yeah, with that, he vanishes, and you are back with Kevin.
Outside the gates.
Yes, outside the
Thank
gates. You
God
don't
we
need
didn't
to
get
go
burned
through
again.
again.
Wow.
Okay, that was a thing.
We just
Kevin,
talked to like a god. Like an interdimensional sun. Well, I keep saying interdimensional. It's really difficult to not see this as like an animus thing. I don't
Okay, no.
understand
So
this.
here's how I get it, right? Imagine Helios, the whole thing was an avatar of something even bigger. There we go. That's as close as I think I can get.
Kevin nods at you.
Oh, hey, okay. I'm all right. Yeah, sure. Totally.
Ugh.
How did I get? I don't understand the reincarnation either. I'm sorry. I have a lot of questions. This didn't make.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely reincarnated. Like, I just had a trip of what, I was up to, and it was no good.
You were freaking out. Are you okay?
I don't know. She likes that, cleaning herself up with her running mascara, mixing with her sunscreen and everything.
Yeah.
Jesus Dolores. We gotta get you ice cream after this or something. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
You used to spend some time petting your cats.
Yeah.
She peels off the, peeling skin from all the sunburns.
Yeah, maybe next time we come, interdimensional traveling, we'll not talk to gods that are just gonna burn us to a crisp, like, for fun. Admittedly, that was better than probably fighting more werewolves. I gotta
mean,
say that.
and fighting more werewolves and then going up through those
Oh,
gates.
yeah, that would have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know what else to even do here. It's really cool, but it also seems really dangerous.
Well, apparently, if we mess this up, the universe comes to an end. Which is,
Great.
by the way,
So between me and you guys, I kind of feel like he was a stuck-up, like, full of shit, like, Zeus type guy. I was just getting those vibes. So whatever thing he was saying about the status quo, I just gonna be real with you, I don't believe it. Especially if we're supposed to be reincarnated superheroes that are gonna save the world. Like,
well,
oh, we need entropy. Do we? Do we really though? Let's get creative here.
I have questions. We said we weren't thinking enough dimensions about that, so it's going to take some more research, I think.
Yeah,
But
we'll have to find the other dimensions, right?
yeah, and hopefully they aren't as Bernie.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be good.
We should also maybe look into unfucking you, your thing. I mean,
Sure. Here's the thing. Like, I don't. Okay. Like, have I been? I mean, you don't know me that well since after this happened, I guess. But like, I don't think I'm like weird. And Dolores seems fun, other than having lots of anxiety. Okay, the flashbacks are a little weird. Okay, admittedly, the flashback is whatever was the visions are that's weird. But like, I'm not like sick. Whatever happened to me, like I'm good.
yeah, but there is the fact that my chi wants to explode your chi.
Okay.
We should
Yeah.
definitely look into that.
All right. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say no. Like maybe this is gonna give me cancer in 10 years or some shit.
Right. Yeah. We we don't know what the long-term side effects of this are, and let's go out on a limb and say that if we are reincarnated superheroes, our previous incarnations fucked this up.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently.
I don't even know where to begin with that. He seemed disappointed.
I mean, I definitely fucked everything up. He hated me last time.
Wait, like you know for sure?
I mean, can you trust spirit visions? I mean, it was a very deep, guttural hate and so on, very vivid. I mean, remember everything about how much he hated me then?
Oh.
Like, if I'm sure about anything, yeah, that's the only thing I'm sure about.
Well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah, what an asshole.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
maybe-
So
maybe
that's
we can make
my
up for it.
position. Yeah, what? Up to him?
Well, okay.
Come on,
Let's
Mason.
just. Someone said, by the way, if you don't prevent the universe from being destroyed, everything is gone. That would be bad. That universe is where you live, you know?
I don't disagree. I'm just saying he is an asshole. Like I'm confirmed. You know what? We had to go through fire that could have killed us. Asshole status. Indisputable. He's
Okay.
also correct maybe about the world ending because I feel it every second of every day. Like I told you guys last time, I was hoping that feeling would go away. It did not.
Yeah. Also, I think he was. I'm going to go with disoriented. Like, so when I say he was like an avatar or something bigger, right? It would be like, you know how you can have superpowers before you actually had superpowers? Before you had superpowers in your dreams or whatever, and then you'd wake up and you couldn't remember how to use them. And that was really annoying. He felt groggy. Sure, yes, okay, interdimensional super being still, but
But
like
something else too?
yeah, or like, you know, for all his dimensional super beingness, he's a lot weaker than he used to be.
So what did he give you?
I don't know. What I look at I still got this dust in my hands.
Yes,
Take a look at it.
Cool dust.
it is. It is basically glowing ashes, is what it looks like. I won't even make you roll awareness. It is clearly very, very supernatural, but you'll need some sort of power if you want to know exactly what it does. Or, find someone who can look into that kind of thing if you don't
Yeah.
want to.
Exalted.
Well, that's gonna take some investigation. I'll show it to Kevin. Maybe he can just recognize it as like, you know, oh, those are sunspots or whatever. But
He does take a closer look at it, and he touches not the ashes, but your hand, like from beneath, Mason, which, that's not exactly uncommon for him.
right.
Whoops, too many dice. That's
That's a 0.
No, it's
Oh.
not. It's difficulty 3.
Oh.
Because it's just because it'd be 1 plus 3 minus...
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So, it's just a spear scan, not a spear scan. Two different, very different spells. But yeah, he takes a few moments and kind of breathes it in, not literally breathes it in, but he kind of almost looks like he would if he got a little closer to it. And then stands back up and takes his hand back and says, There's something about it I can't place exactly. It contains this, it's like essence of the sun's purity. I'm not sure what it would do on its own, but it contains a lot of powerful essence to it. You could, it could be put to probably all sorts of different uses depending on what sort of a clever mind got a hold of it.
Okay. Well, let's save it for. Let's investigate what it could be used for, and then find the right use for it. I guess, to figure out what can be done with it and then do a thing.
Just save it for later, I guess.
Yeah,
Uses a crafting reagent.
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
like an epic crafting creation.
That's basically what it is. Whenever you get any of the cool item creation charms or whatnot that needs specific reagents, it'll work for any type that does anything related to, like, purity.
Neat.
Okay. I assume that no more fire guides have appeared to show us the way down.
Well, we can fly.
The way down is easy, just fall.
Yeah, Kevin points and, like, points down and says, yeah, from my understanding, if we just go down, we'll get back to where we came from.
And then,
Okay.
are we gonna portal home? How are we getting home from there?
I can manage that.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Okay. This won't be like a Rip Van Winkle thing where we show up and it's 25 years later, I hope.
Not usually for these realms. At least since you went to see... I guess he probably wouldn't know the specifics. He just
This
says, yeah,
isn't the
not
time
usually for
realm.
these realms. The middle Umbra is usually closer to human time outside of specific situations.
Okay.
And
Good.
yeah, he starts to lead you all down.
Yeah.
Woo! Fly through the clouds again. Give the like double middle fingers to a cloud that's mad at me. Have it chase me all the way down. Run into the portal.
I mean, it
Good
won't
time.
chase you all the way down. Eventually it starts
Oh,
to get
okay.
uncomfortable with all those, smaller building spirits. Like, it's cool with the, skyscraper type spirits, but, once it starts seeing, like, little house spirits and stuff, the kind of little gas stations you might find out near the desert, it starts to get uncomfortable. Like, oh, there's a lot of ground around here.
Perfect. I don't understand why it doesn't follow me, and that's okay, because I just shout at it that it's a coward and to fight me.
That's a
Kevin-
recurring theme with you, isn't it?
I know. Really combative.
Kevin asks you not to taunt the sky.
Okay. All right. Fine. Oh wait. Okay. I don't want the whole sky. All right. All right. Let's get out of here.
Do not taunt Grandfather Thunder.
Oh, is that his name? Great.
Yeah. Well, let's check if you all get sent to a paradox realm. I feel like having fun with this.
Oh, great.
Let's
Two
see.
different
What
ends.
would the gauntlet be here? I'm going off memory. I'm pretty sure you need more than that even here. Wee. Alright.
Lots of
Yeah, I
things.
think you're good. No botches. Yeah, so, it's a lot like the spirit summoning rite, and, eventually the final part of it, you don't actually go through a portal this time. It feels like you're stepping sideways even, rather than a typical step. Sideways
Oh.
across dimensions.
Do you get bothered by the Avatar Storm?
No, we're not. The Avatar Storm was a very short event that is done with and will not come back.
Good for him.
Because
That's good
fuck
for
the
Kevin.
Avatar
Like-
Storm.
He'd be in trouble.
If any Mage Revised developers ever listen to this, fuck you for the Avatar Storm.
Damn.
What happened there?
Just that, Mage Revised had the Avatar Storm where, mages and only mages for some reason got, like, their souls shredded when they tried to step sideways. And nothing else at all, werewolf spirits,
Long
if a
story short,
fucking
the
if
technocracy did
if
it.
a person, like a normal person, stepped through,
No
some
problem.
magical portal, they wouldn't have a problem either. That only awakened mages, which was such a stupid thing.
Well, they have a
And
reason for it. The reason was the technocracy did it.
Yeah,
The reason was the technocracy did something that shouldn't just have fucking affected mages. It was a fucking ghost nuke.
They took everybody's eyeballs, grounded to dust, spread it all across the atmosphere. There you be observed
I mean,
everywhere. Ma.
Like, I don't want
They
to
released
rant. I don't want
And
to
at least
rant too much in the midst of this, but my feeling was it should have been a short thing that affected everyone. Like, for this specific Chronicle book, it is a thing that you have to, fix or at least deal with. You know what I mean? Not something that's part of the overall meta plot for years. Anywho, back to this game we're actually playing.
Yes.
You are back in the desert. It is still morning, which makes you suspiciously feel like it's the next morning.
Yeah,
Do you want to
got
go
my-
to work?
Get out my phone and check my clock.
It
And-
is the next morning.
The father was with you.
So I'm probably fine, but how are Dolores and Henry feeling?
Give
I
me a
don't want
couple
any-
minutes, I'll be fine.
I don't want any of this, desert getting into my fleshly open wounds.
Yeah.
I started to blister.
I mean, if you all want to have a couple of Henry-influenced paid days off to recover your wounds, I'm not going to make a big thing of that.
Let's
Wish there was
see.
some way we could get Dolores medical treatment without drawing attention to the fact that she has third-degree burns everywhere and yet is regenerating slowly.
No,
Not
not
sure
that
how to
you
deal
know
with that
of.
problem.
Not
Yeah.
unless one of you has, a supernatural hospital ally. Which I don't.
I think it'll take me 9 days to heal up.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, I can just we can just have a downtime thing in the meantime if need be.
I
you
could be
know?
walking around all burned up, singed up for the next couple sessions. It's fine. It's fine.
Alrighty, but this is Exalted, so if combat happens, it's not my fault if you decided not to heal first before digging into Pentex.
We've probably got medicines in Magadon that can heal you really fast.
Possibly. Do you want
And they come
to,
with extra friends.
Oh,
do you want to go to work and see what you can dig up? I suppose I can close this now.
I mean, I know where the fucky shit is going on, because I have all the data on that. In terms of the
yeah.
medical stuff Magadon's doing.
So, do you think we should ask, like, the Fomori, like, what the worm is? Maybe they could answer the question properly?
You already asked
talked about
Fomori
that.
what the worm was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have very incomplete information. Like it's their boss, but also ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
out of character, quick. Someone asks you what physics is. Go.
Oh, it's the science.
Physics is
So it-
applied math.
It's a mathematical model for reality.
There you go. That's... Alright, now explain that in terms of the physics entity that we all know exists.
Oh,
Exactly.
His name is Todd, and he really likes iced tea and long walks on the beach.
Alright, someone's egging for a totem. Alright. Okay, so you all wanna go to work then, and see if you
Looks
can
like-
dig up some forbidden medicine.
let's do that.
Okie
Also,
dokie.
is my again? I need to ask again. We were in the spirit world, or whatever. My essence came back, or whatever.
Yes,
Okay.
it took another set of hours to actually get back to Earth.
Okay.
Probably
So,
pretty sleepy when you arrive, but
I mean, when you get back to work, it's the dragon's nest now. So,
Oh, true. Yeah, I'm just good. If it's okay with you, I'm just gonna say I'll spend whatever to heal up over that time.
yeah,
Including, like,
you are
overnight.
probably fine just kind of slowly churning your flesh back into existence. I'm not
Vomit
going
it
to
up
make you roll 20 times to get the exact amount of time it takes or anything. But Dolores, you do need to figure out how you're going to help her.
Yeah, so we gotta get some of that experimental medicine I saw in some of those files.
yeah. Well, hypothetically, they would. I could ask the security people. Jewel. Maybe she knows the stuff that they use to heal injured folks.
You know what? I may have read something about like some kind of combat drugs or whatever. So maybe they have something.
Maybe
Well,
they do.
Admittedly, I hope it doesn't make you sick. That's the one thing I'd be worried about, because
Um,
like there's just weird stuff in here about like yes, and we've increased the toxicity by X%. And it's like why?
make me some occulty rolls if you would like.
Oh sure. I can make some.
Let me know if you need help, but I think you've got this.
I probably got this. You know what? I'll spend an excellency to be even really got this. What's the difficulty? 6?
Yeah. I know you won't glow just from one excellency, but I just have this vision of like going, stand back, I'm about to think, and then your anima flares.
I mean, I think it was talking to Holden, and he was mentioning that, oh yeah, like the reason why he's trained animal because like, you know, you have a guy that stares intently across the room, activating his like, you know, keen sight technique or something like that, and then he starts glowing because he stared too hard. Like, guys, that's not that fun.
Right, exactly.
Plus, your glow gives people cancer.
Mm.
Only a little cancer, only a little bit. Okay, it's fine.
Just a little cancer is a treat.
It's a treat.
Bonus,
Yeah, it's
bonus
success.
cancer.
Right.
Bonus cancer. I love that. 8 successes.
Yes, 8 successes. Okay, so you know that with your exalted level souls, no amount of, you know, Pentex level subtle worm taint in the medicines is gonna do shit to you. You know.
Okay.
You know, if Henry took it, Henry's already corrupt essence would be like, ah, this is wonderful, and the other two just kind of burn the corruption away.
Interesting.
Yeah, I got
I'll-
vitamins.
Yeah, I'll be like lost in thought for a few seconds after like voicing that, and I'll say, actually, I think there's some part of our superpowers that might deal with little shit like that. We might not have to worry about that unless we get one of the big interdimensional aliens actually involved and like quote unquote possessing people.
Right, if you like inject a bane, that's not going to be healthy.
Right.
I know you can't be
But this
possessed,
is less than
but
a
it's still
bane.
not going to be healthy. But
Unless
yeah, you're not
ghostly
injecting
technique.
bane. You're injecting
Okay.
some healing stuff with some worm ooze in it, and you know there's worse things.
Okay.
It's about the same amount of ooze you get when you go to Otali's and have the number 2.
Don't know
I mean-
what that is.
I don't know either.
Context.
I just chose a number.
Yeah. It's just like, you buy candy and turns out it's like full of beetles because that's how you get red in in food these days.
Oh goodness.
All right, well, let's go
yeah.
to work and see if we can find the experimental medicine.
Yes.
Alrighty.
So I'll look into those files before we head in, just so I have some idea, and then we can talk about. I can basically direct Mason to ask about specific drugs that I
Sure.
think might be helpful.
Yep.
Also, get you some
Okay.
control authority.
Well, give me a computer-y research roll then. We'll see how good of a drug you can find.
Sure, I can do some computery research in intelligence and computer.
Yep.
All right.
But.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you
I
want
think
this
it's the
thing
one,
called
like,
you want this thing called
shields
bottle
you.
banes.
It's like Fomori in a
That's
bottle.
the
No,
point.
it's healing juice, really.
It's really, guys. It's so yummy.
They call this hellfire grenades. I'm pretty sure it's a metaphor.
Yeah, guys, look, growing teeth inside of it.
It's just a euphemism. It feels fiery. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It lets you feel like you can burn down hell itself.
Exactly. With 5 successes, though, which is definitely not a botch, you are able to, go through the files. You already have backdoors, so it's not hard to get to the actually, redacted stuff. You push the thing to get the spoiler to go away. That's actually all you have to do when a document's redacted. You just push it, like on Discord, and it actually unredacts it. People don't realize that.
Yeah. One weird trick.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that. This is not legal advice. But yeah, you go through that and you find that there are, of course, experimental drugs. The one that would be strong enough to actually help Dolores, you would need to talk to one of the scientists to get, the ones that work in the lab that's next to Dolores's mailroom. Since this is set up like that initial place that got destroyed was.
I see. Well,
You
that
know where it
shouldn't
is.
be
You
too
woke up
hard.
there.
Yeah. All right. I think we can handle that. We'll give the lab a little visit, maybe.
I guess you've downloaded the Mori lists and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would the head of the lab be Fomori, or would they be something else? Would they be something else?
You know what they say: the more
Oh,
Fomori, the merrier.
Yeah, I guess at the local Magadon level, they're probably a Fomori.
I mean, depends. They usually have a short lifespan. That's a problem.
Well, yeah, except the ones that get put into the high up positions are usually the ones that don't, like the what are they called? The are the Phyrectoi the ones that are born that way? Yes. You know, that's what you'll usually find in the heads of a
Yeah, the research directors. and
area.
such.
Like, that's what you know that Jewel is.
Okay. He was
She's
born
a
that way.
Phyrectoi. And so the lab science head, you can assume is too. I mean, if you want to look into him ahead of time, yeah, that is what he is.
Oh, that makes it even easier.
Doesn't it?
It really, really does.
Yep,
I think
because they love you.
I was gonna say we might be able to fix this before we even head in for work.
Well, let's give it a try.
Okay. So I'll just give him a call then.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, he answers. He's like, hello?
Right. I'm gonna mind spider him. I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay, mind spider away. His willpower is going to be 7.
7. Psh. Psh. I think you mean 5 because I'm a demon god over here.
I mean, it doesn't change his willpower, it changes your
No, it
difficulty.
doesn't change his willpower. No, it doesn't. I know. Let me see here. Hold on.
Spider away.
And it's manipulation plus computer, so just spend some sweet essence.
Oh, I forgot to actually advance the day.
10 successes.
All right.
So I'm gonna program him to give me any drugs that I basically need from the lab at any time I ask.
All right. I forget, is there a duration on that, or is it just once they're
Nope.
programmed, they're programmed?
They're just programmed.
Alrighty, so yeah, he is set to give you whatever drugs you ask for at any time. There is
Mhm.
yeah, there is indeed a powerful drug you found that essentially it would give anyone else horrible worm cancer if they took it enough to heal the level of damage Dolores has, but you're pretty sure Dolores won't absorb that much worm.
Perfect. So after the awkward like silence on the phone, because I just need him like to pick up the phone and to hear the static noise of the receiver.
Right.
Then I'm just going to say, hey, I'm just gonna need to pick up a couple of things, and I name like a couple doses of that drug.
Yeah.
When I stop into the office, if that's okay.
He tells you, of course it's okay. He'll meet you there.
Awesome. And I hang up.
That is remarkably effective.
It definitely won't have any consequences at any point.
Oh no.
Someone's doing their job.
Oh yeah, like oh what happened? What do you mean it doesn't work here? Oh, what do you mean we can't find him? Oh. Oh.
Yeah, they don't fire a Phyrectoi.
Yeah, sounds like someone volunteered for some nice experiments.
Oh boy. So yeah, perfect. We'll head to work. I'll do my normal work day, I guess, and I'll pick up my drugs, and I'll get those back to Dolores whenever it's convenient.
Alrighty, let's make up some mechanics. I'm gonna roll a bunch of dice, and the successes is how much the drugs will heal Dolores. And if it botches, even though she's an Exalt, some bad things will happen. Assuming Dolores wants to take the drug.
Sure, might as well. Let's
Alright,
live
let's see.
dangerously.
I mean, it's plenty of dice.
Oh god.
That would be funny with how many I rolled. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You heal 5 damage.
Ooh.
Wow.
So yeah, basically it's an injection because, you know, you just can't get that level of strength with something you take orally. But it's like one of those...
Too, so I can inject it correctly.
Right.
And not fuck you up.
Yep. So yeah, you inject Dolores, and Dolores, you puke. Or, I mean, you can try to resist that if you want, but most likely you puke. It doesn't feel good. But, like, by the time you come back to and, like, recover mentally from, you know, your body churning, you look down and realize your body is much better. And in some places is actually there where it was just burnt flesh before.
Man, guys, why don't we funding this more? This is amazing.
I start reading off the side effects on the label, like will cause cancer and more cancer, and insanity and brain aneurysms.
But you're good.
Side effects may include, and then it lists off the WebMD cancer list.
Not may, will.
But I totally promise you're fine, Dolores. You're fine. I promise. I definitely did my homework because I thought about it really hard and was really certain.
Fine, if I don't get cancer.
Well, you know what? I'm of half a mind to fix cancer one day, okay? We'll one problem at a time. I'm really glad you're not half dead now.
I'm taking out my litany of grudges. Adding Henry now.
Yeah.
How many extra doses did I get?
There was only one of the really strong shit.
Okay. That's fine.
You should have your guy make you extra as opposed to like stealing from the closet before he does get fired.
I don't care how he resolves the issue. He can, if he needs to go make extra and just not put it on the books, he had to make it. I don't care. Fine. Whatever.
He'll sort it out.
He'll sort it. Exactly. It's his problem now, not mine.
He's a good worker. He sees the company as a family. He'll make sure it gets done.
Great.
You've all got to work together.
And I keep reading, like, it's extremely
God.
addictive, you know. There was a whole nother page of the side effects page.
Oh God.
Yeah, see the following link, and it's like a page with one of those like centimeter high scroll bars.
Totally safe.
Oh boy.
So
I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
Are we wrapping for the day or what? Or do we want to continue with something? Because this sounds like we've been through a lot.
Yes, so yeah, you are in Pentex the next day. So, you know, Dolores, you set it up as a dragon's nest and you have control over the whole building, right? Well,
Yeah,
layer level control.
It's my awakened layer, and yeah, I took the dragon that it's now a dragon nest. And I also took the charm that I can control the inside, so now it could be bigger, extra rooms where there shouldn't be some, and so on, secret passages, that sort of stuff.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
That's
So you are going to make things fun
for
for
now.
everyone.
Yeah, I only change it when I want to.
Right.
So, I have my own office now that, sleep in.
You have your own office.
Your office.
Yeah.
Are you going to move your cats into the office?
I don't have cats. Who said that I had cats?
Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
Aw.
You just kind of assumed because Dolores looks like she has cats.
Guys.
Because her picture has a picture of a cat on her desk.
Maybe, I used to have a cat, but it's like, I can't afford you anymore.
Oh no.
I mean, you did get a raise.
Yeah, but it was
Yes.
probably after the cat had to be, yeah.
Poor cat.
Oh man. Poor cat.
You poor kitty, you got cancer.
Oh.
Right.
Fuck.
But also, like, rescue from, the Pentex, whatever. Like, oh yes, this one survived. Who wants, to take it home?
Well, sad cat stuff aside, right. So, if I recall, so Henry, you had asked last time about the Fomori in the IT department, right?
That's right.
Yeah, there is only one. Her name is Ashley. She's kind of like a little short, a little pudgy, a little wide-eyed and yet vacant. Um, Looking into it, the details about it say she's what they call a toad. Like, that is the actual keyword that gets used by Pentex. She is medically, femorically speaking, a toad.
There are different like designations for the different types. Okay.
Yes, she's designation toad.
Does it say in her file like the process by which the transformation came about? I'm looking in terms of like, was she aware and this was like an upgrade, or like she didn't know but they wanted to transform her, or what circumstance?
She was hired in, and they don't have much on her past. In fact, it's like a lot of what's there is automated. Like, it's not like someone filled out this, as anything more than a rote action kind of deal.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, she is there.
Okay.
And she has been there a while, but she came from outside. She is not a Pentex project that is listed, at least.
Okay, so it doesn't say anything about, like, when she came on board, it doesn't suggest whether she was pre-Fomori or post-Fomorized.
She
Basically.
came on board as a Fomori.
Oh, okay, it does indicate that. That's good to know. Okay, great. I guess I'd call her into a meeting. Just one-on-one. Call her performance evaluation.
Okay, you bring her into the office, and she, sits down and gets all polite and sitting up as like she's supposed to, kind of smiles in a way that says she doesn't want to be smiling. And just kind of waits for you to talk, really.
I'll go through the small talk of, like, as if we were doing this meeting, like, hey, how are you doing? How do you think you've been doing with your performance lately? I don't really care what her response is. At a certain point, I'm just going to say, well, there's something concerning that came up recently. I was hoping you could
just
explain.
to note it, when you were going over all the like basic stuff, she gives the exact response you would expect for like how to talk to a manager about your day and about how you think your performance is going and that kind of thing. It is like perfect, but so archetypical that you recognize it as perfect because of that. Like, this was planned in front of a mirror 20 times.
Like, yeah, like she was coached on it, basically.
She coached herself on it, more likely.
Very interesting. Okay. So as we get to the end of that, like I said, I'll say there's something really really important that came up recently that I wanted to draw your attention to. And then I'm going to turn like the monitor like on my desk towards her. It shows a bunch of different like stats and stuff about how we track like productivity and all that kind of jazz. It is for real productivity. I tell her, look real close there. Like, lean in, please. And see if you can see the issue that I'm seeing. Does she lean in?
She does indeed lean in to start looking it over.
Great, I'm gonna mind spider.
I figured. That's why I didn't say anything else there.
So that's 8 successes.
Yeah. Okay, she is mind spidered. What do you tell her to do?
She works for me now as if I was her worm boss. And boss. Okay. But she'll keep it on the down low wherever possible.
Right. So, yeah, you basically tell her to act like she's still working for the others, but your word is law at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Okay.
She gets all of that just from looking at the screen. And I say, do you understand?
She kind of blinks once and nods and says, yes, I understand.
Wonderful. I really appreciate that. So I'm gonna need some more information to update our private performance evaluation, not the one we're putting on here. How long have you been femorized?
She thinks for a moment and shrugs at you. And it is not like she's trying to hide anything. She shrugs and looks like she legitimately has no idea.
Oh yeah. No, I felt that programming in bed. Okay, interesting.
I was thinking, like, there's also an infernal charm called Crown of Fury that might be more of what you're trying to do right now, because, like, I think the mind spells now is like more dominate. Like, oh, you tell them to do something and they do it. Versus Crown of Fury is more like the long-term presence, but like, oh, you influence them and they work for you. They have a long thing. Like, oh, you might tell her to tell you about that, but that's one command. You do it not like, hey, you work for me now. Something, because I don't think that lasts that long, because it don't have a duration, right?
Yeah,
Duration. It doesn't say limits other than the kinds of things that you can ask.
yeah, I kind of assume that basically she's going to, treat you like a boss, like give you reports and information and all of that, and defer to you first. But yeah, if you actually want to get a new thing going, you'd have to. That doesn't really fall under that auspice. Like, you haven't really changed her view of you or anything. You just kind of long-term dominated her. Exactly. What's the one you mentioned? Crown something? Oh, Crowned with
Crown with
Fury.
Fury.
Crown with Fury is the very direct
Oh yeah, that
mind
is.
control.
That is, they are yours.
Yeah.
I see.
It might be good to get into in the future, but for now, you can at least get her working properly under IT for the moment.
Yeah.
She probably won't come out and clean your pool though.
Yeah, no. Like I don't assume
Your
she's
apartment
like
pool. Yeah.
you are gonna become a warrior now is probably not covered under that command at all. Like
No.
she's gonna keep doing her job, but like on the side, hey, you're really working for me, right? Yeah, that's right.
Right. And I mean, you do have your
Okay.
-2 difficulty with her anyway, or whatever it is with your merit.
Oh, that is correct. I keep forgetting. Literally, me and my character keep forgetting that we don't have to keep mind controlling people. We can stop at any time.
I mean,
So-
yeah.
Mason keeps trying to remind you, and it's just not working.
It's just so easy.
I mean, literally with the Mind Spell, because like it only costs you 1 essence, and since you're in Dragon's Nest now, permanently,
Yeah,
at war-
it's easy to do, and so far
very
you
easy.
haven't had any consequences. So in character, at least, it definitely seems like nothing bad will happen ever.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't see the consequences, so they must not be real.
Exactly.
Yeah, who cares if everybody else gets brain cancer? I don't.
Oh God. So yeah, I asked her basically about her history that she is aware of. So like, did she just wake up in a lab? Like, what is she really doing in IT? That's the kind of stuff I want to ask her about.
She gives you a history, and it is like the blandest thing, the blandest, most middle managey thing you've ever heard. Like, she came into the company years ago, and over the course of like fucking 20 years, she got a basic promotion to like supervisor of her subset of IT, which means nothing because there's like one other person in that area. And it's so bland. It's like NPC in a JRPG bland.
Interesting. And she starts at working at Pentex. Like, no family history.
If you ask about her family history, it's the same kind of deal. She'll tell you that she was a B+ student in school, that kind of thing, and did like a 2-year associate's degree for IT stuff, and because that's clearly what she always wanted to do, to be a middle manager in IT.
Okay. I ask her, do you know what Fomori is? You familiar with that word at all?
She nods.
Okay. What does it mean to you?
She gives you the company definition that you've read in the file, the specific exact company definition you've read in a file about like the genetic enhancements and stuff.
Oh. And when do you think that happened to you? Because people don't start out like that, right? What's your best guess?
She shrugs.
When did you
She-
learn that word?
She tells you that she learned a lot of the stuff when she got promoted that first time, years into her service, she got the advanced version of the company manual.
Who gave it to you?
She gives you your boss's name. Fuck, what did I name him? It was very.
I forget as well, so that's okay.
It was
the Roach
purposely
Man.
Joseph. That's what it was.
Joseph, there we go.
Yeah.
I nod with understanding. I see. I see. Interesting. Okay. Well, I see. Do you think there's anything I should know related to these topics that you're aware of? Just anything that we've discussed here that might be a pertinent personal detail?
I assume you
Just
have all the
your best.
training you would need as someone in your position.
Oh, I do. This is testing you.
I can't possibly imagine what I would know that you don't.
I smile widely, and say, if you hear back from Joseph, do you talk with him at all?
I used to, yes. He's
Oh,
told me
when?
recently to defer to you.
Has he now?
She nods.
When was that?
She 2 days ago.
Days
That's
ago.
when you mind spidered him, right? Yeah, because
Yes. I only mind-spidered him to, I think just to keep quiet about what we talked about. I think.
yeah, but you mind spidered. Oh no, you mind spidered him like the last week about
Yep.
getting the promotion and stuff.
Oh, that's
right,
true.
that's
true.
the date she gives you.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. Okay. I nod with understanding. And go. Okay. Okay. All right. So here's what's up. If you hear anything from Joseph, tell me. Just it's as best you can when we get a chance. During our little meetings. And keep up the good work, and we might see about getting you promoted further. Okay.
She smiles like a little more genuinely when you say the word promoted.
Yeah, I bet. All right. Go about your duties.
She nods and heads off to go about her duties.
Fuck, this is way too easy. Oh, Jesus. Oh, fuck.
What's gonna
All
suck
right.
when you stop being able to remember all the orders you've given everyone? Down or something.
Oh, no. Yeah, that'll be the
Being
problem.
consistent.
By some weird combination of orders, you've inadvertently told someone to tell someone else to tell someone else that was mind spidered for a different thing, and it translates to shoot you in the face.
Oh, no, no! What happens if you counter Mind Spider a Mind Spider? Oh,
You
think
get
they
the
just have a
power
brain
comparison
aneurysm.
rule.
Right. You're gonna
Oh,
learn a
God.
lesson that every Ventrue learns eventually.
Yeah, who doth has the lower effective generation wins.
Oh, I see. I see.
Well, there's also
All right.
Dominate is a sometimes toy.
Well, at least until you get the high enough levels that it self-corrects.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a plan for moving forward. I'm not gonna continue taking the spotlight. If folks have other stuff to do.
Well, do any of the others of you have anything to do before Henry comes to you with his plan?
Well, I was going to see if I could get Henry issued weaponry. I meant that kind of really hobbled him during the little skirmish we had with the werewolves, and we certainly have an armory. So the proposal I was just going to suggest to Jewel was that we start arming Pentex employees who are rated with firearms and are of a certain VIP level, e.g. Henry,
Right.
right, who's probably the only guy who meets that requirement, with some of our surplus weaponry that we otherwise would have to account for in the budget.
All right, she seems reluctant at first, so give me a roll. But you'll get difficulty 5 since you've previously become best friends with her.
Sure. Expression, empathy, I guess, whichever.
Expression is probably better for this. There's no
Right,
real
let's see.
empathy to have.
Yeah, what is?
Well, that is a success. Okay, yeah, she says, like, she goes into some things like it's gonna have specific criteria, like they have to be trained, they have to show proof of blah, and the blah blah, and report blah, and, you know, make sure you sign out blah blah blah. But yes, it
Great.
does
Oh,
go
gosh.
through.
Great. Well, I'll basically when we meet up, I'll be handing Henry, a handgun in a box with silver ammunition and a reef of paperwork he can make his minions fill out for him.
I will literally just like it's my birthday. Like, oh, Mason, that's so nice of you.
Yes.
I can
What?
hold
Oh
this
my
for
goodness,
me.
thank you.
Right. And I'll sort of show you how these firearms are remarkably rugged. They're designed like you wouldn't even need 5 fingers to fire this, because sometimes I use tentacles.
Jesus.
Right. And there's
That's
probably a couple
fantastic.
magazines of silver ammunition.
Does
Ooh,
Dolores have
think
anything
that
she
helps.
wants to do before meeting up with the others? For a meeting?
No, I don't think I have anything planned at the moment.
Okie dokie. So yeah, well, Henry, why don't you explain your plan?
So I'm assuming this is like the night after work. Um,
Okay.
go to the same bar or something like that. Or back to one of our places to talk.
This is
Whatever
probably
you guys wanna
nicest.
do. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this
Um,
boardroom that suddenly
I mean,
appeared
remember
here.
the bar probably has eyes on it now.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Shit. I'm sorry. What did you say? Did you suggest something?
Well, we could just go into this boardroom that just appeared as the janitor's closet.
Oh, there you
Okay.
go.
I mean, fair enough. Especially if people don't recognize it or whatever. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's
We
the
can just do that.
it's the after office intervenue secondary boardroom that basically has 10 qualifiers on it that only you all can use it. So
Oh,
no one
that's
else would go
perfect.
there.
So I'm thinking basically I call you guys up like, hey, I want to talk. Let's head back to my place or whatever. And then Dolores is like, oh no problem. We have a spot. What spot? It says room number. What?
It's up on the map.
what are you talking about? But then I head down there. There it is. What the
The
fuck?
hallway doors end at 3. What do you mean 27?
Yeah, I open the door to the conference room and just look around like I have not seen this place. Like I've been here for like it or a version of this office like for like a year. What the fuck?
Yeah, I show you the employee map on the website, the internal website. This room is not here.
Oh wow.
No, it is. She controls the entire building, including IT. IT updated it. The map looks like this now.
Oh goodness.
You've 1984th.
I memorized the previous map. This room was not here before.
Yeah, Dolores is just like,
Yeah.
no,
Now
that's
you're-
not true.
Your personal paper copy wouldn't be updated, but all of the ones in like the official books and online would be, assuming Dolores wants it to.
But we have extremely
I think it's
powerful
funnier
memories. We
that
can
way.
remember, we can remember the old office layout.
We might. Yeah, we might. Okay, yeah. So I'm in the conference room, kind of looking around. Is Dolores here?
Yeah?
Was she already here?
I mean, do they want to come in together? I mean, I suggested
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing and so on, so yeah.
Hey, Dolores, what was this
Yes?
always here?
No. You know,
You all noticed that, once you're settled in and sitting down, you didn't see them come in, but there is an individual in a suit that is sitting across from you. Just sitting, watching. They look, they've got a very generic sort of, like, short-haired, average featured kind of look. They're just watching.
Hey there,
Oh.
pal. Don't think we invited you to this meeting.
Oh. I control the doors to make them disappear behind somewhere, to slide off the wall and into, the next room.
No, there's
Apparently, your superpower is dynamic architecture.
they're still there across from wherever you end up with. They end up there once things are done rearranging.
Say that, I'm removing the exit from this room so we can, have
Oh,
this conversation.
I thought you were saying like you were pushing them out of the exit or something.
No.
No.
Oh, doing the horror movie thing where the exit you thought was right there is gone now. No, that part.
Yeah, if you all want to wear awareness, if you all want to roll awareness, you can do that. It's a
Hey,
thing you
I'll
can
roll
do.
I'll roll my 2 dice. What difficulty?
6.
Okay.
Dolores, it's 5 for you.
Well, I didn't see shit.
Yep. Oh, that's Mason's awareness. Okay. And Dolores?
5, I'm going to... just checking whether that's my Eldritch. Yes, so I'm going to pump it with Excellency, might as well.
Go for it. And you are in your lair.
Yes, it'll be... Yeah, like this. I think that is...
2 successes from you. That's amusing.
That?
Sometimes the dice are like...
Wait, that's basic roll. It should be...
Oh yeah, that's a cast for you, so that would be 5 for you.
5 successes, yeah.
Yep. Okay. So Mason, that is a spirit, or part of a spirit. Dolores, that is the building spirit you've already interacted with.
Right. That was.
They're just taking the form of Pentex employee.
I don't think we can disinvite him. It's his.
Yeah,
table.
you altered them, so.
I am already like reaching for my gun and getting ready to like.
That's okay. This is the guy from the basement, I think.
Wait, what? The guy. Is that him?
The basement.
Oh shit! I think I did see him before, right? Yeah, the building that asked not to be covered in spiders. Yeah.
They nod.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I put the gun away.
Can you
What's-
talk now?
They nod and say, yes, but I'm just here to observe, and they take out a little notepad and pen and just kind of motion for you all to have your meeting.
Observing for who?
Me.
Kind of tilt my head. What's your interest in the meeting exactly? I mean, we're just talking business, boring stuff.
It seemed important since you twisted me around to accommodated it. I'm just curious.
Oh, does it bother you when we twist that thing around? Because
No, it's more like if someone, like if you felt, it's more like if you like let your arm drop. It's not something that really bothers you. You just kind of recognize it's not where it used to be.
Oh, okay.
Well, do let us know if we hurt you by accident. We can work it out.
Of
Yeah,
course.
that's not my intention. I was trying to get the spiders kind of off your back.
Oh, they've been wonderfully accommodating since then.
Oh, okay. So we're cool?
They nod.
I kind of look at the others like, are we cool with that?
Yes, yeah.
All right. I
mean-
kind of just shrug my shoulders and go, okay, cool. Someone's taking minutes for us, I guess. Great. So if everyone could take a seat, I have a presentation ready.
Fantastic.
So I'm gonna go to the front of the room. The smart TV projector thing is just gonna turn on because of course there's one. And it's going to have my PowerPoint on it. The PowerPoint is really, really simple. First page, like the first page just says,
You get
taking
it,
over
fine.
Magadon. Just in big bold letters. I point towards it.
Spirit starts taking notes.
Does
I
everyone
see.
understand? Does
Sure.
that make sense? Okay. That's just the first part, okay? There's steps here. So, I have a plan to enact this here. Next slide goes. It shows like just like a like shutter image, like a default image of like people with phones and stuff like that, and it says step 1, get the personal members of employees. Optional, might be tough to do. I look at the others. Step 2, actually, I'll just post this in the chat. Step 2, use or install VPN on my phone. Step 3, spend most of the day calling every member of the executive board and higher staff systematically. Not gonna get everyone probably, but it would be more effective if I have their personal phones. Step 4, I have no idea what to tell them what to do. Step 5, de facto control of the entire corporate ladder without actually like jumping or making any visible moves.
Okay.
Last slide, comments, suggestions. Am I crazy? Did I go fully insane? Am I a
So-
super villain?
See,
So
this
I-
is with Chrono Fury, so you can control them. But yeah.
I mean, so assuming that it does work, we can't be the first people who have thought of this, right?
Okay.
So-
So question: Why do you want to call them, and how does that help us? Because Dolores hasn't known that you mind control people with phones.
I look at her like staring off, like through her almost like, oh, I didn't tell you. Oh, Dolores, I can turn people's free will. It's kind of scary.
You know, with phones.
Mm-hmm.
I take
Or
my phone,
earbuds.
just toss it in the garbage.
No, wait, Dolores, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, you have to be safe.
So the question,
I'm sorry.
It's
And I
fine
have-
after all.
so I have 2 questions. The first is, like, are you sure you're the only one who can do it?
Oh, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
So if let's imagine for a minute that
Okay.
you succeeded and you've taken over Pentex board. How would you defend against it? Against the next guy doing it to you?
Well, I guess that depends. If maybe if psychic people are real or something. I guess we need to
this-
figure something out.
Right. So the next thing I would do is go through the files and look for that because they probably already have it in place.
the spirit raises its hand like with one finger politely.
Go
Yes.
ahead.
From what I understand, they tend to encapsulate their personnel lists. Like the local Magadon office probably won't have access to the highest reaches of the controlling entity, Pentex, as you put it.
Right. Now, I think for the low-level people, which is to say everyone in this office, it would probably work pretty well. Outside, much more difficult. Especially because I bet if we go through the files, we can find defenses they've already put in place for it. They're just probably expensive.
Fences. Okay. Yeah. I'm out of my depth with that one. You seem to be more familiar with the spirits. I say in quotation marks.
I mean,
that side of
imagine,
things.
are there spirits of the phone networks who could detect this or or stop it? I don't know.
Oh God! You gotta be kidding me. Is this really an everything's alive situation? Seriously? God damn it.
The building spirit
Okay.
nods.
Oh no, come on. Well, okay.
Is everything alive? He asked the animate building spirit.
Give me some time, yes.
Okay. So then, maybe there's more investigation to do, but I gotta tell you, time is ticking.
Okay,
is
yeah,
the
no.
thing, you know? So I know this sounds crazy, but like I feel like I need control over the situation so I can fully analyze all the variables involved.
Okay. Well, let's just
'Cause-
start with this building. Let's not. By this building, I mean like this particular corner of Magadon Incorporated, which itself is, an international biotech firm, I'm sure. So,
Okay.
we will do your thing, but restrict it to this office. So worst case scenario, we cut our losses and run somewhere else, and it's not a global impact. Because if someone hacks every mind across in a building, that's scary and dangerous and spooky. If someone does it to 25 offices all over the globe, that's a worldwide attack, and you throw all your weapons at it. And maybe if this works really well, that's something we can plan for.
Soak one tactical nuke.
Soak one tactical nuke.
Oh boy.
That's when you bust out the Heavenly Guardian defense.
Okay. Start slow. We can start slow. That's fine. Yeah. All right. I'll do that then.
Yeah.
But
Also, make sure this is the way you want to do it. Like, does this have side effects? Does it wear off? I don't know. How well do we understand this phone network mind hacking thing?
all I can tell you is it's been working flawlessly so
Okay.
far. Even people, they're like tough nuts to crack. Like like Joseph. He's a stubborn asshole. But I could almost make him do it. Anything.
Okay.
So I don't know what to tell you about side effects. I haven't made anyone's brain explode.
That's good. Yeah, no. I mean, so far,
Right?
it seems like it works great.
Yeah. But maybe we can experiment and see just for right here. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Pilot project. Pilot.
Pilot project. I like that.
Yeah, right. We're going to pilot conquer Magadon through mind control via phone networks. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, this is a good playground to test this.
Right? Plus, it's Vegas. If we blow it up, the value was lost.
Right.
Sometimes you roll boss cards, sometimes you roll snake eyes.
All right. Well, is there any other amendments to this plan? Like, for example, okay, I can call the people that are just in charge of this building so that we can kind of do what we need to, but like what are the specifics that we might need, and what's our long-term plan? Because right now we've gotten some information over and over that the worm real bad, it's like sick or something, it's the big cosmic alien god out in another dimension, but also every fucking finger of Pentex is just reaching out with this thing. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. So like, we need to. It's the cause of
you can see.
doomsday. I'm sure, right? It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, so okay, right? So they're putting evil ooze in all the medicine, and they're, why? Why are they doing this?
I mean,
No idea.
Pentex can be that bad. I mean, they make, insulin.
They made the drug that healed you. Okay, but the problem is, again, you saw those side effects, right? They don't give that stuff out typically. Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I mean, Henry, if you want to make like a, do you have
Medicine.
no, what do you call it? Obviously, I don't have it. Eidetic memory or whatever the merit is.
Do not.
I'd have it.
Yeah, medicine memory.
Well, you can make a memory roll then, if you'd like.
What
I
is
think
memory
that's
roll?
intelligence plus wits.
Oh, all right. I'm not bad at that.
Normal
Raw
difficulty.
memory. Oh my god!
All right. Well,
Definitely did not.
yeah. No input. Keep going.
Okay. Brain no work.
Luckily, if you remember it, you no longer do. Right. So they're putting all this evil shit in the medicines they make. The medicines are totally revolutionary. So once we have full access to the building, we can figure out what goes into these things, right? Like healing someone like that isn't. It may be natural for us now, but it wasn't 3 weeks ago, right? Like there must be an objective, and it's not produce
Yeah.
value for shareholders because you don't.
It's kind of produced value for shareholders.
It's kind of produce value for shareholders, but the
I mean,
shareholders.
Speaking of objective, like, what do we want out of this? Do we want to be, well, like, in charge of Magadon? We're going to be, I know, dictating where R&D money goes? Do we want to be setting the price of insulin? Or what's our end goal here? Because that seems like a lot of work.
I mean, after do this little pilot program, we'll see how much work that actually is.
I mean, it's also like we're not
You
going to
do-
take.
I don't know.
You do know from your research that, you know, there's the Magadon local, and then there's, of course, the Magadon Corporation, and the Magadon Corporation has connections to Pentex, and, you know, Pentex is above Magadon as a whole, but also Pentex has, like, management offices like the one you went to that control the lower offices of, like, Magadon, like the one you're at, and it's typical bureaucratic bullshit that's hard to navigate.
Yeah. Because, like,
So-
taking this over would be like, you know, buying Twitter, not having any idea what to do with it, then,
Yeah,
you
who
know,
would do that? I mean,
planning about
but that
trying to
said,
make it work.
taking over just this office, you know, you know where all of the entry points are bureaucratically at this point. You can do that much at least, and go from there.
Okay.
For the sake of
Right.
out of character ST
So essentially,
input.
essentially the way I see it is we take over. We get some degree of control, not official control of this office, and then we spend the next few whiles figuring out what the hell Magadon is doing. Because
Yeah.
you know, how does that
Well,
sound
I have
to
a
you?
ton of information, but still, the larger picture we are missing.
Well, maybe we can
Evil
get the
science all over the place.
Okay. Here's a thought. Maybe once we have control, we get like a big, not necessarily all hands meeting, but we get every department in here into like this conference room or one just like it, and to explain what the hell their projects are, right? Like, you know, justify your budget to us. What are you guys producing? In your, you know, in the words of your managers and your, you know, project planners and stuff like that.
Got it.
Well,
Yes.
How does that
absolutely,
sound to you as like what we would do once we've achieved your pilot program?
I think that's perfect. If we are, again, if that's the direction we want to go, if we want to really take a bite into this problem and see if we're biting off more than we can chew after the pilot program, that's a great way to start.
Yeah, I mean,
I
at
like
the very
that.
least, you could find out what are all the, you know, evil research projects producing here in this office, and that would let us know something. And I mean, yes, you have access to all the files, but having the people who wrote the files explain to you, as if you were a 5, you know, what it means is helpful.
Mhm.
Yes, that would be very helpful.
Right. So instead of needing to read like 10 terabytes of data, we can be like, well, this project is run for X for reasons we don't know about, or to produce Y.
I mean,
We also let us know how much they know. That's important too.
Can we just control the computers and make them tell us what's going on?
Well, again, like you said, that would be all of the hard data, which would be a ton of information to go through. It's not that we couldn't get info from it, but like a person summarizing for us might be more effective.
Right,
At
it's
certain
like,
points. That's
You know,
all.
hey, No, we're upgrading all the computers in the office to, increase productivity because they can run Windows, whatever. As opposed to just seeing a bunch of data saying they updated 500 computers and here's what we did to upgrade them. It doesn't necessarily give you why. Unless you find the exact right file, and finding that is a pain in the butt, I'm sure. I mean, Henry's the IT guy; he would know that.
Yeah. So and Henry does. Are we agreed on this plan then? We're good.
Yeah, it's worth a try. If it blows up in our face, we'll need a backup plan. But
We'll figure it out. I'm sure.
Right.
As I say that, I am going to reflexively, kind of unconsciously, activate my anima power for the first time.
Okay.
Well,
So I am going to kind of be stuck thinking, for a moment about our plan, reviewing it, scrutinizing it. And I am going to. I'll put the anima power in the chat so you can see it nice and easy. Oh, I wish it copied over correctly, but that's okay. Basically, while intensely studying an object, situation, or individual within my line of sight, I'm going to spend one essence and ask a question about it. So I am analyzing, like, us, this plan, that's the situation. And I want to ask, what is the largest impediment to this plan being successful that I'm not aware of?
All right. Let me reread that really quick. Character's animus playing. Great staring eyes open within its emerald flames.
I mean, yeah, I think that's just the basic animal power you're using, not the flaring one.
Right. Just noting for everyone, like, viewing you, what that looks like. All right. So, yes. The greatest impediment you aren't already aware of to your plan.
Mm-hmm.
Greatest impediment.
And the plan, I want to be really specific, is me taking over this office. So not the larger plan, but this specific plan.
Greatest impediments. Your charms don't do that.
Oh no. Oh no, we read the rules wrong. Shit.
Sorry, what?
Like, yeah, your greatest impediment is you have a charm that makes people do something, but that doesn't guarantee long-term control over them.
Oh, you're
Or any
saying
control
the
whatsoever.
greatest impediment is him not knowing how his charm works.
Yeah, this plan doesn't work because
No. Sorry, give me just a moment to open up a book. But what you are aware of as the impediment to your plan. What's it called?
they have a lich in the basement that will murder everybody.
Not quite. But you learn that there is a mage that is keeping track of this office, and I am trying to find the damn Las Vegas book so I can tell you which mage.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
So the mage beguiled the building to take notes.
No. Here it is. It had like a subtitle that's actually the title, and Las Vegas was the subtitle, so I wasn't looking at the right part of my files.
Oh, yeah.
But
Bad
okay, it's at
PDFs.
Yes. Okay. Is it? Well, how much information would it give you? Ask one question which you must answer honestly.
It doesn't seem like you have to give me. You can give me as little or as many details as you like.
You might
It
not know
just-
the name necessarily, but like you know that the greatest impediment, there is a mage that's looking after this, and yeah, that could be it. They can start investigating.
Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with.
I will give you just the last name. You have a vague awareness of a magic user with some part of their name is Mitchell.
as I'm kind of staring off in the distance, kind of awkwardly, my lips will consciously mouth the word, like, or the name Mitchell. And then I'll blink, and I'll say, "Oh, hey, guys, I just had, like, a cosmic insight, don't ask. Wizards are real, and one of them is keeping an eye on the building.
I mean, you kind of know wizards are real.
Yeah,
I
what do you
know,
think that
but
whole
wizards are
spirit,
actually real."
what do you think that whole
Yeah.
spirit thing was? Like that was
See,
wizard shit.
no, that's all just swarm magic.
That's,
Yeah.
you know, that's like
That was
chi
that was
stuff. This
advanced
is like,
kung fu.
The difference between a monk and a wizard, guys, it's a different classes in D&D.
okay, all right. I probably don't say that then. That's fine. But I'll say
Yeah, specifically
there's a
magic
wizard.
user in general. I am not saying mage specifically
That's
necessarily.
fine. I will jump to saying a wizard that is like keeping an eye on the building. He might cause problems for us, or is it a he? I don't know. I
All
didn't
you know
pick
is
up
the name is
gender,
Mitchell.
just name. Yeah, I didn't pick up gender, just a name.
And the name is
Mitchell.
name is Mitchell.
Mitchell. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can look for this Mitchell.
Yeah. I wonder if they're on the company roster.
I wonder if like all the magic users in town know each other. If that's like a thing, or
Oh,
Whoa, just
maybe?
because they use magic, they
yeah,
automatically
right.
know
Or is that-
every
or
other
is that
magic
somehow
user.
is that somehow like anti-wizard racist or
Oh, God.
anti-magist? I don't know.
I mean, I could guess that we all know all the Exalted in this town, so that tracks.
Maybe there's hundreds of them. Who knows, right? Maybe everyone's a wizard but us, and like they just forgot our Hogwarts invitations.
Just lucky on us.
Okay, so we gotta find this Mitchell person, before I start doing my thing.
I should take that tracking child and let's be tracking one of my litany of grudges. And also add Mitchell to my litany of grudges, so I can track them.
I don't know
I
who
mean-
this Mitchell person is, but I don't like him.
I will
People
say,
observed.
I am fully okay with you adding Mitchell to your grudge list. You heard the name, you know they are they're an impediment to your plan. That is plenty to form a grudge.
Yeah, I mean, they're observing me, so yeah, that's good enough.
Oh goodness.
Yep, go
Yeah.
for it.
Okay. Fair enough.
I have added them to my litany of grudges.
Oh yeah, especially because now, you know that thing you did with the office, right?
Yep.
When I look at it on the way, like the whole thing lights up like a Christmas tree.
Okay.
Or like the big one in Rockefeller Center, they'll freaking glows. So somebody might have noticed. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Yeah, like basically that power by default makes Dragon Nest glow.
Boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm just pointing that out to you, that it is not necessarily subtle.
I mean, is it a bad thing? Should I make it stop?
I have no idea.
Look,
I'm as
once
new to
we
this
take
scene.
care of Mitchell, I think we'll be okay.
That might be why Mitchell is paying attention to us. That
You know what?
The
Maybe.
building politely raises its hand again.
High building.
They clear their throat and say, the dragon nest is wonderful. I don't know if what is it? The power here is
power.
wonderful. But it probably is noticeable to those that are aware of the spiritual, but that most of them would be contained within this area. You may want to look into planned visitors or what have you for the coming days in case someone else who would be aware might come by.
oh,
Planned
boy.
visitors?
You know, like the sign-ins and stuff, like if someone's coming out to check over the place or have a meeting or whatever else.
Fair enough.
I'll make a note of that, and I'll tell you what for the file is kept, so Henry can just hack it and look at it whenever he wants.
There we go.
And it's worth noting, even having seen the Heart Eater thing, Dolores, the building seems to love you.
Yeah, yeah.
Aw. That's nice.
Ah. Yeah, well, Dolores currently is happy in the building.
Right.
Took her a week or whatever, but
So I go back to the PowerPoint briefly. I amend the just without even touching it, obviously. And I just add to the first step, actually deal with Mitchell. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I mean,
I say,
this doesn't necessarily need to be a mind spider. I mean, we can just have a conversation with Mitchell and see what they are looking for.
no, no, no. We can. I agree. No immediate mind control. You got it. Definitely won't do that.
Right. You'll need to make that a post-it note and put it in front of your computer, won't you?
Do I need to make you roll subterfuge for against your friends here?
No, because Henry is trying to convince himself that's true. No, I definitely will stop doing that.
When he says it, he believes it, but then he'll just forget and start rolling the
Right.
power as soon as he talks.
Yeah. I'm totally only eating one piece of cake from the fridge today, that kind of thing.
it
that
makes
cake
him
go?
use all, I know, charisma and something to convince him that, yeah, that's the truth. Charisma
So-
leadership.
Yeah, I guess probably not from the office. That seems like it'd be unwise. But eventually, I'll give Kevin a call and ask him if he knows of a Mitchell. A magic user of some kind named Mitchell who's interested in Pentex or the local Pentex or local Magadon.
He doesn't know.
Okay. I guess they are not all on each other's Rolodexes then. Does he know anyone who does happen to know all the magic people in town?
Are you gonna make me fucking look at the Chantry list in the Vegas book? Because I'll
I
do
mean,
it. Let's see.
Make
Well,
him do it.
I was already at the redacted section, so let me check the other sections really quick. Do.
Go to this, wizard that's, into Harry Potter. They'll tell you about this wizard that's into steampunk.
I mean, kinda. Let's see. Huh. Actually, it doesn't seem like there are a lot of Akashics other than the ones we've made up in this. But he will mention the Black Pure... No, he wouldn't actually tell you the Chantry name. That'd be stupid. He will tell you to look up Ralph Cannon as someone who works who works at the Luxor.
Okay. If he's got like a phone number or whatever, we can go have a conversation with that guy.
Mm-hmm. And that will probably be something to do next time, because...
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yep. Alright, so it sounds like for next time you're going to start your mind spidering, then look into Mitchell, and is there anything else I should be planning to do?
Mine's very visual. Is there anything else you guys had planned?
Not yet.
I mean, if you don't have anything major in mind, we can cover that later.
I guess we should figure out what kind of scope we want to do this game, because if we had a meeting with Unconquered Sun telling us to save the whole world, that just kicks it up from, hey guys, we're just fooling around here in this Magadon building, to, oh yes, we're fighting the apocalypse and so on and so on. And
I mean, that's
kind of
your
different scope
end
of the
goal.
game.
That's your long-term end goal.
Yeah, but
Hopefully, not deliver value to shareholders. Therefore,
But is that something that we'll be actually dealing with this game? Because buying all those 5 charms to be actually dealing with that takes a while.
That's an eventually thing. That's a don't worry about it just now thing. That's a you talk to the sun and the sun is going to be grandiose about things thing.
it's
So
your
in the
sacred duty to
meantime-
prevent the universe from imploding.
In the meantime, thank you everyone for listening. This has been Chris Falco with Falconian Productions, and you've been listening to Exalted vs. World of Darkness Pentex.